going down the road. They're having a race. What speed are we going?
40 kilometres an hour.
Eh? We're just flying. So how are you today, Mr. Jim?
I'm good.
That's good.
So we're heading to Packsaddle Roadhouse today. So dirt roads the whole way because we're coming the back way out of Mutawintji National Park. So I think we've got about 90 k's of dirt road and then about 10 k's of back on the bitumen road for the Silver City Highway again. So we'll just take our time. It's a nice day for a drive.
Yeah, it's not bad. The road, minor corrugations, but yeah, really good to drive on, isn't it?
Yeah, the sweet spot's about 70 k's. So with corrugations, you find, you know, if you go too slow or too fast, the corrugations, you know, you notice them a bit more, but the sweet spot seems to be about 70 k's.
It's a nice wide road too, so if you come across any trucks or other caravans, it's good.
Yeah.
See you in, where are we going?
Packsaddle Roadhouse.
Packsaddle Roadhouse. There's quartz everywhere here. You just look ahead and there's just a mountain of it with just a bunch of boulders. It's very cool. Look, they even leave them on the fence post for you. Very cool. Just rock everywhere. Going even. He's so funny, isn't he? Just gonna have to slap that right out of him. Nobody is nothing out here.
So we're driving along in the middle of the Outback, as you can see. It's pretty barren, and then you just drive along and there's this like wall of granite just on its own. It's just a little narrow, almost looks like a bloody man-made wall. Look how rough this ground is. Be a good windbreak though if you were a kangaroo, wouldn't it? It's quartz. But that's it. Check it out. It's just this narrow band of quartz. How cool is that? But this is pretty sparse country out here, isn't it? That's the only tree I've seen. So at the Pack Saddle Hotel I've got some free unpowered sites off to the side of the pub. They just sort of asked that you spend a few dollars at the roadhouse. It's a bit of room there. They do have a few powered sites here too, which is along backing onto these cabins. So this is the Pack Saddle Roadhouse, about 165 k's south of Tibooburra. They do have diesel and unleaded here. $2.34 a litre, it's not too bad out this far. Yeah, how do you like to be sitting on those saddles?
Barbed wire to hold it together, or is that just to hold it up?
They've seen better days. None of these saddles look too comfy, do they? And the hats. Some of them are pretty well worn, aren't they?
Yeah.
So Sturt Steps touring route covers around 1100 kilometres of diverse landscape across the corner countries, unsealed roads and Silver City Highway. So Burke and Wills where we started. We went up through Fowler's Gap and then we went out this way and came back in here.
Okay.
So then we're going up here to Mutawintji, Tibooburra, up to Cameron's Corner, and then we'll keep going up to Innamincka, and then we'll come back down through the Flinders Ranges.
Morning, Mr. Jimmy. We had a nice breakfast at the Palm something or other.
You can get it.
Palmer? No. Pack Saddle.
Yeah.
Pack Saddle.
You were started with P.
Yeah. Pack Saddle Roadhouse. Had a nice breakfast there. And now we're headed to Innaminka? No. Milparinka. And according to Hema Maps, we're on a dirt road, but it's not dirt. Woohoo! And there's actually 4G phone here. So we had 3 bars a second ago, it's down to 2. That's all right. It's 23 degrees. A beautiful day. A little bit hazy, but I'm sure that's going to clear up pretty soon, because it's almost 10 o'clock.
Yeah, so we're running on about I think it's about 165 k's from Pack Saddle to Tibooburra. So we'll go to Tibooburra today. We'll stop at Milparinka and have a look. Supposed to be some heritage buildings there, and it's you know, I mean, they've had a lot of rain out here, so there's still plenty of vegetation around, which is pretty good out here. But as you can see, it's fairly flat. We're starting to get towards desert country now, so it'll start to dry up. But even the deserts out here this year will have lots of vegetation because they had so much rain. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, so we'll let you know when the bitumen ends, because we ran into a couple at the roadhouse, and their van was just a standard Jayco, which was quite low to the ground, and they had concerns about going on the dirt road. So it'd be interesting to see if they could have gotten, how far they could have gotten before they would have had to turn around.
Yeah.
This section of road here, the sign for it says that this is a flying doctor's landing strip, so you got to be careful. So they land here in emergencies.
So you know where to stop on this section of road.
Yeah, don't stop. No stopping for the 1.5 kilometers emergency airstrip. How clever is that? Look how wide it is. No wonder people would think to stop here, wouldn't they? And look, there's the air sock. Is that what they call it?
So they'll probably have fuel in that. So
And that's where they park when they stop. Taxi into there. Very cool. And this is where, so they can take off again.
So these are all over Outback Australia. So they have landing strips on roads, they have landing strips on farms, you know, so the Royal Flying Doctors, I think they've got something like 270 light planes. And so, you know, like you can be in the middle of nowhere, and as long as somebody can get a message out, they'll get you a care flight.
So while we're traveling along the Sturt Highway, we come across historic gravesite, which is Eliza Kennedy, who died on the 6th of January 1886, age 32. It appears she died from epilepsy in the 1880s. She was one of the first women to come out to this area. So yeah. And that's, so she died on the banks. Her grave had been covered by sand, and some road crews discovered it and repaired it and put a fence around it. And the road is just there. You'll see a car go by in a second. So it's not far from the road. The caravan. There we go. Jimmy's going to do some more drone footage so we can get a better picture of this lake.
Bigger lake over that side, so small lake here.
The smaller one here.
The one on the other side might actually have a bit of water in it still, so we'll have a look.
Let me see.
So what is it now? It's late August.
Yep.
Now, so the floods were through here in February, March, April. Oh no, February, March. So it just dries up so quick out here.
It does, doesn't it?
We're going to have a look, see what's up there. holding up traffic.
We've come to Mutawintji. The road from Pack Saddle all the way to the turn off to Mutawintji is tar. But once you turn off, there's a little bit of dirt road as you come into Mutawintji, so it's not far in. We thought we'd pop in and have a look. Looks like there's a lot of historical information around here. There's the pub, which is open, and the toilet. We were greeted by a lovely little lizard on the road, and that's the campground there. So if you're traveling and you're getting there late and you want to stay, or you want to spend a few days here, you can. So we're just putting on the hiking shoes, going to go into the info center and check it out.
Yeah. So at least this one's got suspension on it. So there's a little horse-drawn buggy that they used for transport back in the late 1800s and early 1900s. So imagine back then there'd be, you know, no roads, there'd be like little horse-made tracks and that. But, you know, dragging your belongings across that sort of country would be fun. Mutawintji, they've got this sort of little mini museum set up. Half of it's dedicated to Sturt and the other half's dedicated to Sydney Kidman. So I'll give you a little bit of a look around, see if we can summarise a bit of it for you. So Charles Sturt was actually born in India, educated in England, spent time in the British Army, served in Spain, Canada, France and Ireland for 13 years. But anyway, his big claim to fame was that in 1844 he convinced the British government that if they funded an expedition to the centre of Australia, they'd find an inland sea, because there had been rumours for years about an inland sea, which we now know to be Lake Eyre. But he spent a year and a half dragging a boat on horse and cart all over the arid lands out here, and failed to discover the inland sea, but he did come across this area here where I think it's called Lake Cobar is a small lake out here. So they didn't find inland sea, but they did find bore water out in this part of Australia. So it started settlement out here in what they call corner country now. So there's lots of water under the ground in this part of the country, but not much above the ground. So when it gets big rains, that all soaks down through the sand and sits in the stone bed. It's not that far under the ground. But yeah, it's you could easily spend an hour here just going around reading it all. A little bit of a history on Sydney Kidman, who ended up being the largest landholder in Australia. 13, he left home at 13 and worked his way around the country, learning different things from different people, and him and his brother opened a couple of butcher shops, and that got them started. And then they started buying and selling horses and then cattle, and then started carting goods for other people for a fee, of course, and then started buying land. So all the dark brown patches on the map there is land that Kidman and his partners bought. So Adelaide was the main port back in those days, so Broken Hill, where we've just come from here, bought a lot of land in this area here. So we're about here at the moment, in Mutawintji, and then that's corner country up there, so New South Wales, Queensland, South Australia. And then he's bought land up all through Central Australia, and then right up towards the Gulf of Carpentaria, up past Tennant's Creek, probably heading towards Katherine, all around Alice Springs, in Charlotte Waters, all around Lake Eyre. So this is what Sturt was, told about. So that's the inland sea that he was looking for, but he never got there. He sort of found no, he didn't find any of these lakes. He found small lakes over here in this section. But Yeah, like, you know, until you sort of travel out around this sort of land out here, you really don't appreciate just how hard it would have been to live here in the 1800s. You know, it's just a dust bowl, you know. So that's back in the 1920s. I've got an early car there. But I always think it's fascinating, they all wore suits, you know. It's like even in the middle of winter out here, it's 30 degrees. It's just a fascinating place out here. But yeah, stop off if you're going up the road to Innamincka. Stop off at Mutawintji and have a look. They're doing a little bit of renovation work here at the moment, and the government's sinking a little bit of money into the place, so there's lots of artefacts around. They've restored a couple of the buildings. You know, give you a little bit of a taste of what it was like. You know, that's the sort of the, you know, horseshoes that they used to have. It's one of the carts that they would have dragged up from Adelaide. And they did have gold here for a little while, but it petered out pretty quick, and then it sort of became more of a mineral area. So, you know, silver, tin, other sort of metals. There was a little bit of opal found in not too far from here, but then once they sort of started digging for it, there wasn't enough to justify mining here, so they worked their way towards White Cliffs, where there's plenty of opal even today. This is harsh country, you know, so we're at the end of winter here now, so this is like end of August, so it's you know, just coming into spring. We're about a week away from spring, and the last few days we've been out here, it's been in the high to mid 20s, and it's just beautiful out here this time of year. You never see a cloud, but of course it heats up pretty quick, so end of September, October, November starts to get really hot. December, January gets unbearable out here. It's 40 degrees most days in January out here. But we're just going to have a little bit of a walk around and explore the place for an hour or two. So as you come into the little town of Tibooburra, in the distance you can see a guy leading a camel just outside the information centre. But if you have a close look, this whole thing is made out of wire. So all different types of wire.
Look at the camel's eyes.
Yeah, but like it's so detailed. Camel's eyes, the saddle, the blanket, camel. Somebody's even put a bit of dung underneath it. The tail. Very well done. So who's done that? That's Olive and Love It 2021. Heavy gauge weld mesh, galvanised hexagon wire. Very well done. So we're at the family hotel in Tibooburra, ordering a meal. Good old-fashioned country pub meal, and a bit of local entertainment as well. This is my first try of 4X Gold. Yeah, I'm not sure about this one.
Heading down the Silver City Highway, going to
Come on, quick girl.
a place far away.
Name it. Where
Going to a place far away.
Where we are.
Cameron's Corner.
Via.
Menindi. No?
We're going via the Sturt National Park, so taking the scenic route. So.
Oh, Innamincka. Innamincka.
That's a couple of days away. So we're heading in that general direction. So we're going to go. We're just leaving Tibooburra now, so about 30 k's north of Tibooburra. We'll turn left into the Sturt National Park and go the back roads across to Cameron's Corner. So probably 100 170, 180 k's.
Yeah. So
And we'll just see what there is along the way.
yeah. I'll give you a look outside and see what we're looking at. So we're just starting down Jump Loop Road, which is the dirt road that'll take us to Cameron's Corner.
No, it'll take us to Sturt National Park.
Oh yeah.
So we'll go to Olive Downs, and then there's a few other little historic sites along the way, so it'll bring us out near Fort Grey, which is just before Cameron's Corner.
Okay. So it's here so far, not too bad. That's pretty green for desert, wouldn't you? Wow. Lots of creek. Uh-oh, car coming. Recording? Okay, so zoom in a little bit. There they are. Hello, little fellas. No, they didn't move. Cool.
I guess this is why they call this the jump up, because the land just jumps up all the time.
Yeah, it does. Just everywhere, doesn't it? So much wildlife out here. You don't see anything, and all of a sudden you see a whole bunch of emus, kangaroos jumping around. The road is really, really good. It sounds a little bit bumpy at the moment, but it's been so smooth. Okay, Jimmy? Jump! No, over the edge. If you don't like being alone, this is not a place to be coming to, because there is nobody around. Not a single soul. Yeah, and there's just emus and kangaroos so far that we've seen, and birds. One car. And the road's been pretty good all the way. Perfect timing. Yeah.
This is about as remote as you get.
Yeah. It's amazing. What's this place called?
That's the Sturt National Park.
Yeah. And this is just this
We're just about at Olive Downs.
Olive Downs, and this is the lookout. And what a lookout it is. Beautiful. The Aboriginals have been here for 25,000 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
The Mutawintji
So we have come from Tibooburra up to here. We're going this way to Fort Grey, and then from Fort Grey go up there to Innamincka, or to Cameron's Corner. Cameron's Corner's just here, and then it's 200 k's up to Innamincka from there.
Very sandy now, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think we might start to see some
Dunes or whatever?
Amazing how quick the landscape changes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. So it's 86 k's to Cameron Corner, so we're not far. And the road is still so good, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, over there, and we turn around and we look to the side, and you see this. And oh my God, it's just so green, and you can tell it must fill up with water every once in a while. Because like there's a lot of dead trees in it, but it's green as. It's beautiful.
Can't read what to say. So we're just getting towards the western end of Sturt National Park, and I've got this little car park here, and this sculpture made from wire mesh of a bandicoot. Very clever. We'll go for a walk up there to look at it in a minute, but we'll have a read of the signs first. So that's the road we came in on. So that's coming from the east. That's the little car park down the bottom there. That fence there, just where the road runs along the side of the fence. So this side of the fence is New South Wales, the other side of the fence is Queensland. And then this area in here, which is fenced off, is a training area for endangered species. They breed in captivity and release them back out into this area here. So this is managed full time. So it's not a huge area, but the idea is that they get native animals that are endangered and breed them in captivity, release them back into the wild, and they use this area to monitor how well they do in the wild, and then they release them there on the other side of the fence then once they think they're ready. But this is a pretty new structure here, all new signs and that. Lots to read, a bit about farmers, wild cats and foxes. So feral animals all over this part of Australia. You've got goats, camels, cats, dogs, mice, rabbits. So the parks and wildlife do a pretty good job of keeping it under control when they can. Right, so that's the corner post over there. We're going to look at that in a minute. And this is where we are now. New South Wales, Queensland, and South Australia. So we're just right there. And so this was John Cameron did the survey here in 1879 up to this corner in September 1880. So the original timber post that he put here in 1890 is actually on display in the National Parks office in Tibooburra. So I've got a picture of that earlier on this morning. But the flies are extraordinarily friendly here.
So where are you now?
I'm in New South Wales now.
Yeah?
And I think I'll do a day trip to Queensland. Oh yeah, that was it. Now I'm in Queensland.
And
well, I'm here, might as well go to South Australia. I'm in South Australia now.
so what's the other corner?
No?
What's the other corner?
It's still South Australia.
It's still South Australia?
This side here is all South Australia. So
Uh-huh.
it's right up until Alice Springs where it turns into Northern Territory.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
So, can you see all the flies?
Yeah, well, they're friendly as buggery, aren't they?
Hang on, you got prickles in yours. How'd you manage to get prickles in your mesh?
No idea. Look what I see.
What do you see? A pub.
Pub.
So, Jimmy, you were going to go out there without a head thing, without the mesh.
I'm never taking it off now.
I think we're going to need to use it here. The flies are really bad. You have the tri-state golf. So this is the course here, and this is the first hole. It's a short way. It's par 3, 109 meters, and I can see the flag up ahead there. How do you think you'd go? Do you think you'd get a 3, a par?
Well, I play golf before I get into
Very interesting. I wonder how many holes there are. What do you think of Cameron's corner?
It's a corner.
It's a corner?
In the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
That's what I expected. But it's just one of those things, you got to tick it off. It's like Cape York, you just got to tick it off.
Are you enjoying the natives?
Yeah, it's pretty
The flies?
They don't eat much.
They don't eat much. They don't suck blood. It would be worse if they were mosquitoes. This is a good area. It keeps the flies out. You can sit and eat in peace almost without any flies. So where are we off to today, Mr. Jim?
We're going to Innaminka today via Mutawintji.
Via Mutawintji, yeah. And the road is very dusty. It's a beautiful, clear as day. Beautiful. And it's 15 degrees at 8:30 in the morning.
Just keeps going.
Yeah, it's very hilly. It's like going over sand dunes. Wow.
Like a roller coaster.
On this road from Cameron's Corner to Innaminka, it's very hilly. So you go, it's like going over sand dunes. So you come up and you're down the other side. And this one's not too bad, but some of them are quite high and quite steep coming down. And then we've come across these huge holes in the top of them. You get to the top and you go, oh shit.
It's like wind erosion. It's just put a big
Yeah.
dip in the top of the hill.
Yeah. So every time you get to the top of the hill now, what do you do?
Watch like this one.
So you get, this isn't too high, but yeah, some of them are quite high and then down again. So this is what it's like. You come across and there's just these big chunks missing out of the road, and that one had a cones to warn you, but a lot of them don't, and then you just hang on to your sphincter as you go over.
We're out in the oil fields now.
So we're in the oil fields and you can see the little machines digging for oil or gas all over the place. There's one up there.
We're on the Old Strzelecki track.
So that's Creek 6. There's another one just out there. There's a whole bunch of them. Sucking it out of the ground, eh? Pipeline. Very cool. Come across this and I thought, what the hell is that? And then I realized it's a lizard skin. Oops.
No, it's those roadkill birds eating the inside here.
Maybe. Unexpected. Bitumen. Oh no. No more fun for you. Yes. So will the grandma. Nothing. Just for miles and miles and miles, you can't see anything.
So, we came along the Old Strzelecki track. It's actually pretty good. Like it's, you know, it's dry, so it's pretty good. You can comfortably sit on 60 kilometres an hour most of the way along it. And then when we got onto the new Strzelecki track where all the, you know, the mining trucks are going up and down all the time, that's really badly corrugated. So, but the track itself was really good, some really interesting scenery. But we had a semi-trailer not too far behind us, so we didn't stop and take any drone footage along there. But you know, you probably get an idea from the GoPros what it's like. It's pretty flat and, you know, desert.
Very dry out here. Oh wow, look at this.
Just imagine what it's like when it rains, you know.
Got Jimmy a new stubby holder. It says Innamincka. It's a great place. Outback, South Australia. 15 billion flies, can't be wrong. Good stubby holder, eh?
She's desert country here, isn't it?
Yeah, very much desert country here.
But the beer in the pub at Innaminka is the coldest beer I've ever had.
Yeah.
Brain freeze, it was so cold.
And food was good too. Alright, but look, there's water in the river. We can go camp over there if you want. Or here. Just water. Yeah. Amazing. You can't get through there, so you need to find a place to camp somewhere around here.
You going out there? Yeah. Oh, cool.
You don't want to park under the tree though, do you?
So we've just come just out of Innamincka to the policeman's camp, which is, I think it's about 4 kilometres from the hotel and general store. And there's a little spot here right on the on Cooper's Creek. And it's quite amazing after all we've driven through to see this much water out in the middle of the desert. Haven't got a pelican out here. But don't come out here without one of these. You can even get little boat rides on the river if you want. You can organise that at the pub. So I'll send the drone up here in a minute and give you a look around.